Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now before we do get into today's first story, I just want to give you a warning that it does contain ableism within it, so if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. It's from Anxiety May Be Moving and says, my 24 parents, 50 and 57, don't want me to move out because I'm not done cooking. But I want out. Hello relationships. I apologize in advance for the length. Sorry if this is a long ramble. I don't know how to put this in a narrative. So I have generalized anxiety disorder, which disrupted a lot of my life, and naturally my parents are extremely protective of me. I'll get panic attacks, go through extremely bad relationships, and worry over nonsensical things. They've told me all my life to not worry about getting a job and to just let them pay for things. I would feel pretty guilty about this, especially since my parents were always giving money to my bio dad to take care of my severely autistic brother, and to my older sister who has a kid and has terrible money issues of her own from her own screw-ups. She crashes cars, got fired from work all the time, and more. So every chance I got, I would try and get a job, but my parents would always talk me out of it, saying I'm not worried and that they would take care of it. I was in high school, so I didn't have much free time anyway. This was fine as a teenager, but now I'm 23. I'm constantly driving between campuses and my internship, while also living an active social life and participating in the speech/debate team, which gives me a grant that covers half of the tuition. I make straight A's despite any trouble I run into. And just today found out that since I turned 24 in September, I qualify for a Pell Grant that will cover my tuition. Not to mention I am only 6 classes away from graduating with my BA. My anxiety is also 10 times better and I feel extremely accomplished. Even my speech coaches have told me that they're proud of how far I've come. But every summer during my college years, I would try to find a job and my parents would make me quit. I only succeeded in keeping one job at a retail store, and they decided to push me to babysitting my brother so much I had to quit for the family. After I quit, my babysitting duties suspiciously subsided. I'm only allowed $200 a month for food, expenses and gas, and since I go to school every day back and forth in between my internship, that isn't enough to sustain myself. I tried to bargain for more. They say I need to budget. I offer to get a job, they say absolutely not. Thing is, this is my last year. My tuition is being paid for myself and I only take 3 classes a semester now. This would be perfect to get a job, to save up money, and to move out and transition to true independence. I also have an amazing, loving boyfriend who wants to take the next step and have me move in with him. I'm delighted, but my parents 100% do not approve. Despite him being so polite and making so much effort to get to know them. He bought my little brother 2 expensive Transformer toys and didn't receive any thank you from them at all, much less bother to even talk to him. I feel so discouraged. I tried hinting that I want to leave, but they keep saying weird stuff like, "You're not done cooking yet," and how I need to focus on my studies. Well, I've been focusing on my studies and obviously they are fine. When I told my stepdad about potentially having good news about my grant money, he immediately berated me. No, you're not moving out, even though I wasn't even going to talk about it. They put a lot of pressure on me to do an impromptu milk runs in the middle of the night, to take care of my brother while they go out. They say I can come and go as I please, but demand me to text where I am throughout the day, and make extremely snide remarks on how I practically live at my boyfriend's, even though they established that it was supposed to be absolutely fine. I'm getting sick of living here. I get berated for hanging my bath towel in the incorrect towel rack. I have to stop at home to do the dishes between school and my internship, even though I'm barely home enough to do the dishes anyway. And I get fussed at for not being home. But when I am home, they don't even acknowledge my existence unless they need something. I'm so tired of them seeing all my anxieties as me not being ready and not seeing the strides I could make on my own. But I'm still conflicted. I don't want to lose them. I just want to move out and live my life freely and develop responsibility. I feel weird that they aren't even letting me do that. I don't feel like I'm even home here anymore. It just comes across as all about control, and control that's stunting OP's growth. And it's a system that's basically given them free labor with you babysitting, running errands, doing dishes and all this sort of stuff, keeping you out of jobs, so they're keeping you financially dependent on them at the same time. And like you said, that they got you to quit a job for the family, and then when you did quit your job, the need for it suddenly disappears. And I just can't see them changing anytime soon. I mean, what, you're 24, making straight A's, handling lots of responsibilities, and sounds like you're doing really well in your school life and dealing with your anxieties really well. I mean, if that's not cooked, what exactly are they waiting for here? But in the end, you don't need their permission. You're an adult. You can do exactly what you want to do. And I think it's time to start cutting that cord once and for all. Maybe slowly, maybe all at once, however OP feels comfortable with it. Stuff like taking that job, opening your own bank account. But a commenter says to OP, maybe I'm late, but as someone who has struggled with and overcome my anxiety and panic attacks, your parents are part of why your mental health is in such a bad state. The only way to escape the downward spiral that is the panic trap is to regain your confidence in your ability to survive and ride out life's challenges and your own feelings. In order to do that, you don't have to be alone, but you do have to be left to your own devices. Neither your parents nor medication is going to cure you or protect you, but the ability is within yourself. To access it, your parents have to step back and let you do you. Please be strong and move out. Get in touch with a therapist specializing in anxiety disorders and CBT. If you feel that you want to stop living and suffering like this, if you have any questions regarding panic attacks and the like, feel free to drop me a message. OP says, this touched me. I've been a long time sufferer of anxiety since I can remember, and there were times where I just wanted to cry, and my parents would barge into my room and demand what's wrong when I just wanted to be left alone. It caused me to start crying in my car so they wouldn't see or hear. My parents did give me help with my anxiety though, and made me do therapy, and I have medication for it and it's manageable. But I've started to notice my anxiety stems from being away from home too long, for the fear that my parents will berate me, not because that I wanted to be there. When I stay the weekend with my boyfriend, I'm actually less anxious and more happy, and when I go back to my parents and then visit my boyfriend again, my boyfriend comments about how I'm weirdly defensive and anxious all over again. I feel like I can move out by the end of the year at the very least, although my boyfriend has offered me to stay with him even without a job. I want to find a job first and contribute to the rent. I don't think I want to be dependent on anyone ever again. I'm finding a bit of difficulty because of school and my lack of work history, but I'm applying every day. Another commenter says, quoting, they put a lot of pressure on me to do impromptu milk runs in the middle of the night, and says, what the fuck do they need all that milk in the middle of the night? They need to go the fuck asleep instead of drinking all the fucking milk. OP says, right? My mum is obsessed with milk for some reason. If I'm coming home late from a speech or debate rehearsal for my talent grant, which lasts 3 whole entire fucking hours, she would ask me to bring home milk, even though it's so freaking late. This happened more than once to the point where my close friends joke about it. Voyager says, just for your information, this is a thing on Raised by Narcissists and Just No Mother-in-Law. Everyone has a milk story and a bathroom towel story. It's super weird how many consistencies there are between all the people. OP then edited the post and says, wow, I never imagined my post would get this big. I'm extremely grateful for the advice and constructive criticism. I do think my parents have slight narcissism issues, but ultimately, in their weird way, they seem to think they are doing the best by me, while also taking extreme advantage of the situation. I'm applying to multiple part-time jobs and have been for a while, but the advice everyone has given out has just reaffirmed that I must do this. Once I get a job and have a decent amount of income, I'm going to let my mother know that I will move, and that she can't say anything to change my mind. I know she'll be pissed, and that my stepdad will be enraged, but I suppose that's the cost of seeking happiness. I might schedule a therapist appointment in the meantime with someone who is quite familiar with how my mother can be, and seek her advice as well. Thank you everyone again. I truly appreciate the outside perspective. So it was 2 months after this that OP came in with their first update and said, so a lot has happened. Let me just say I appreciate everything you guys have told me. I reread your comments and it's amazing how many instances I ignored from my parents that was extremely wrong of them to do. Thank you so much for your advice and concerns. I felt extremely vindicated, but more than that, I finally felt not crazy, which was extremely important to me. Anyway, on to the update. So after reading all the comments, I made the decision to apply to jobs. I applied to all I could find and actually landed a decent paying job as a front desk associate. Also, I got 2 grants from my school to pay for my entire tuition and have some extra money. So yay. I landed the job, got my grant money, and talked to my boyfriend. We both agreed that I should move out, and he was more than willing to have me move in for $500 a month. I was thrilled and sat down with my parents. They did not take it well. They told me I couldn't live somewhere else and stay on their insurance. They told me I was making the worst decision of my life and threatened to take me off all insurance and to cut me off completely. As a person who has to take Prozac every day to function like a normal human being, this terrified me. They told me they let me get a job this time, even though I did it behind their backs, but that moving out was against the agreement they had with me. We never had an agreement. They simply told me that I have to live with them, period. This broke my heart, and my boyfriend decided to talk with them next time with me. This time bringing a financial planning paper we both worked on to show we thought about things and we had a budget, and talked to his parents, and they were thrilled and everything. My parents shot me down again. The entire meeting in front of my boyfriend. My parents told me I was incapable of living on my own, and that I wouldn't last out there in the real world, and that I never finished anything I sought out to do. Even though I'm a straight A student, even though I got not 1 but 2 college grants, even though I am literally a state champion in speech and debate. They guilted me and made me feel bad for wanting to move out, accusing me of abandoning the family, and told me flat out that I will fail, period. That I would not be able to accomplish anything, and that will be miserable. I'm not even exaggerating. They legit said I wouldn't accomplish anything. I then tried to compromise and asked them if I was still to live at home, to allow me to live a relatively free life to come and go, and if they wanted me to quit my job, give me a little bit more to live off since I'm trying to make a life for myself out there. Nope. They said I belonged at home, period. For the sake of me being home in case they needed me. I don't mind helping out at all, but home for the sake of just being around? Doing nothing? Writing this, I still feel like I'm plain out disobeying them and feeling guilty for feeling upset at how they treated me. I feel like I have to justify every sentence I say, and that in itself isn't right. I think they love me in their way, but I couldn't live with them anymore. At this moment, I realized my parents would never look at me and see anything but the mistakes I've made in my life and see me as a crutch. I was so sad I didn't have their support, but I got out. Now I live with my boyfriend and things are good. We're still packing, but I've never felt happier. I look forward to going home now. I barely have panic attacks and my job is going very well. I'm learning how to budget for bills, and after fighting hard, I managed to get my parents to keep me on medical insurance. But I think I can make it work. Thanks again everyone for their advice. Just wanted to let you all know I took it. I don't regret it at all. Commoner says, this is awesome. You're awesome. I can't imagine how frightening this had to be for you. But you stuck to what you wanted out of life and didn't let anyone intimidate you. That's true bravery and strength of character, really. Seriously feel proud of you. And I've never even met you. I'm certainly no doctor and I could be way off point, but something tells me that having moved away from your parents, you might find you eventually don't need that Prozac anymore. Opie says, thank you so much. It sounds great on paper, but it was definitely a messy journey getting out. Lots of fights and lots of tug and war, but in the end, it got me here and I'm happy. Red Banana says, how is your relationship with your parents now? Are they texting or calling you and trying to get you back? I remember your original post and I couldn't be happier to read of your happiness. Big slap on the back for you, OP. OP says my mum texts me from time to time. I have a closer relationship with her than my stepdad, who did all the threatening to kick me off and jazz. My mum just stood by and let it happen. I definitely feel like our relationship will get better, but she still demands I do things for her despite my busy schedule that I have to firmly tell no to her. So OP came in one more time, and this time they went to the Raised by Narcissists subreddit, and the post was titled, First Holiday Not Living with My Parents. Don't know what to feel. This is my first time posting here. Someone told me on the r/relationship thread to check this subreddit out when I shared my story of being trapped in my parents' house. I'm still kind of timid about calling my parents narcissists, but they kept me trapped at home for so long without so much of a second thought has been hard. Especially since my boyfriend's parents are in my life now. Since I moved out in September, my boyfriend's parents have come up and beyond to help us. They don't even wait for us to ask. They help repair some walls, they help buy us lunch or groceries, they got me a surprise birthday gift. They've come over more times than I can count, and they even came over and cooked us Thanksgiving dinner in our apartment. I invited my parents to come, but they ended up saying they couldn't. In fact, they haven't visited once. I visited a couple of times, but not much. I haven't spoken to my stepfather since me and my boyfriend sat down with him to tell him I'm moving out, and all he did was tell me I couldn't do it, I'd become a failure. He listed all the mistakes I made in my life to the point my boyfriend felt like he had to defend me. I'm by no means perfect, but I just wanted to leave. My biological father has visited me several times. He's been great and supportive. My parents, mum and stepdad have not. They've never offered to help me with anything. My mum calls sometimes, but that's it. This month she invited me several times in the middle of finals to go ornament shopping with her. That said, I thought that would be nice, but I'm working my ass off right now, with both my job and trying to finish my final projects for school that my teammates bailed on me for. So I had to do the work of 4 people, by myself. Ugh. She said fine. She calls me Friday, says Sunday the whole family's gonna decorate the tree and eat pizza, and asked me to come. Again, I told her I wasn't sure I could make it. Me and my boyfriend at this point were staying up every night doing schoolwork together until 3 a.m. or sometimes 5 a.m. Studying for final tests and doing projects and extra credit. I'll admit we had a rough year this year, but we managed to pull through with B's, but only because we did work this entire weekend. She told me my niece Chloe would be there, who is the sweetest 10-year-old ever, that I helped raise, and I don't see her often. But I told my mum I might not be able to. I said I wanted to, but I had a lot of work, since it's finals week. She said okay, and told her to let her know. The next day I gave her an update that I was still working, and she said, just come here for 30 minutes and we will feed you, which I thought was sweet. Still, I didn't make any promises and told her me and my boyfriend are still working our asses off, because my boyfriend helped me this entire semester to stay afloat with school and kept me sane for the moving process. I wanted to stay up with him and do homework, so I did. We didn't get to sleep until 5 a.m. Today, Sunday, I wake up at 1 p.m. with a phone call from mum. I pick up and it was my niece Chloe saying hi to me. Then my mum picks up the phone and asks when I'm coming over. I told her I couldn't. I just woke up. I'm utterly exhausted from finals week and I don't think I'd be good company right now. Plus, I still had a presentation to record myself for. I'm not good with time management. She said, okay, I got to go, and hung up. She hasn't texted me since. I feel awful. I told my boyfriend about it and he got mad at my mum and reminded me that I never promised I would go. And he's right. I told her from the start I might not be able to come. I even told her any day after Sunday would be better for me because then finals week is done. The fact Chloe was there makes me feel awful too. I keep worrying that she was sad I couldn't make it and my parents are just telling her I'm being selfish and that I just don't want to come. But I did want to. I just was physically exhausted and tired and still had more work to do. I know they're mad at me, but I did everything I could. I told them it wasn't a good time for me and they didn't even try to change the day. I never said yes. I shouldn't feel guilty, should I? My boyfriend is frustrated that I feel like I owe them something when they've done nothing to help me transition into my new life. Are parents even obligated to do that? Are his parents just wonderfully nice? I don't know. There wasn't much point to this message. I'm just sad and can't sleep and holidays are hard and I didn't know where to go. Thank you to everyone who managed to read this garbage. I just needed to talk about it, I guess. And the top commenter on OP's post from Only Spook says, you shouldn't feel guilty. She's being a jerk for trying to pressure you into making her happy with your presence on her terms instead of accepting that you need to fulfill an immediate school need and come later. She even tried to manipulate you the way she framed the final ask as, when are you coming over? Instead of, are you able to come over? And having your niece say hi. That just gets my red up. First, she tries to manipulate you by saying she'll be there. Then she actually gets the kid involved by telling her to say hi and taking the phone away so that she could talk to you. That was clearly a play on her part. I don't know the answer to whether or not your parents are obligated to help you transition, but yours are certainly not worth your effort, and your boyfriends are certainly lovely. I know it's hard to accept in your heart, even if you know it in your head, but keep telling yourself that you don't owe them. See, they gave you life and all that jazz, and normally that warrants love, affection, and effort in return, but they decided that instead of taking your payback that way, they would instead deduct what they wanted from you. You've already paid anything that could conceivably be seen as owed through your heartache. You have no debts with them. And it was bittersweet in the end for me, the fact that OP was still questioning if she should feel guilty, like for prioritizing her finals over these last minute family plans. For me, it just showed how deep, like, sort of the normalization of her home life was, that she was putting their wants over OP's needs. Mum using manipulation tactics, like the comments said, you know, getting the young girl to phone OP up to guilt her, followed by the silent treatment and hanging up, etc., etc. And OP questioning if the boyfriend's parents if that's normal. You know, they're showing up and with groceries unasked, helping them out with repairs and stuff like that, just showing support to them. And OP's like, is that normal? But OP, I really hope that they've kept that cord cut, and because I don't believe those parents will give up. They just keep switching tactics till they can guilt OP to get what they want. I was hoping that the mum calling up during finals week would be some sort of like olive branch, but in the end, I don't think it was. I think it was just more testing to see if OP would prioritize them over her own life. But I think because OP didn't, she's on the right path, and I really hope that she continues down it as well. Stay strong, OP, but what do you guys make of this situation? What advice would you give to OP if you was face to face? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.